Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again for another episode of Breakpoint Now. Once again, I'm your host, Jesse Leone. A little bit about Breakpoint Booking again is we're a talent agency based out in LA. We're here just bringing some content. We got some very talented people that we got on the docket for today. First up, who we're bringing up right now is Bill Grisolia. He is the co-founder of the Long Beach Blues Society, entrepreneur, musician, Long Beach lifer. Let's bring him on right now.
Coming in hot.
Bill, how you doing?
Coming in hot. We're here in Long Beach.
Hey, I'm in Long Beach too. So I respect interviewing a fellow Long Beachian. Is that how you say it? I don't know if that's the proper terminology.
Beach.
Sure. But yeah, we're glad to have you here. I know we're here to talk about Long Beach Blues Society, but first let's get to you. You're also a musician, and you have New Blues Revolution and the Bill Grisolia Band. Can you kind of explain that a little bit, your time touring and stuff like that?
Sure. And so the Bill Grisolia Band is my Eponymous band. It's a pickup band, and we use it for all kinds of activities. The New Blues Revolution is a concert act that focuses on concerts and festivals, top nightclubs. Not that the Bill Grisolia Band doesn't do some of that work as well, but it depends on what's required. But yeah, the New Blues Revolution started about 10 years ago out of the New Blues movement. And for those of you who are interested, you can certainly check out the Wikipedia article on the New Blues, because maybe you've been wondering what's been happening in the blues for a while, and that's a good source for evolutionary thought about the art form, about the genre, if you will.
Right. Actually, I got some of your links down here for you, for all your people who are watching. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, man. So we have a full plate of social media related sites for you, as well as regular websites for the Bill Grisolia Band, the New Blues Revolution, the New Blues Festival, which is an outgrowth of the band, as well as the Long Beach Blues Society.
Yeah, awesome. Can you your New Blues Revolution? You say you've been around for about 10 years. Can you explain maybe some experiences that you had on the road, or?
Well, sure. We've toured internationally in forms, but we enjoy the opportunity to work here also in our native state of California, working from San Francisco to San Diego. And the touring lifestyle, it's not for the faint of heart. And we've all heard the stories of vans and breakdowns and automotive stuff, and I'd like to, however, if I could, invoke the traveling Wilburys for a moment. Now, everybody, well, not many people may not know about this super group that had the deceased Roy Orbison and the deceased George Harrison, but it also had Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne and Bob Dylan. And they released a couple of records which are very successful. But the reason I mention this now in terms of touring stuff, Jesse, is because on their first record, the first Traveling Wilbury CD, they talked about club owners. And they insisted that they were a different species. And Jesse, you can probably relate to this in your day-to-day work. But yeah, club owners, different species. And so, you'll get the ones that'll come up after the show and say, hey, well, the crowd really wasn't what we had expected, and so we can't afford to pay you what was agreed upon. Stuff like that. But you have to roll through that stuff. And I think that's why God invented attorneys, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, being in the business, I totally understand. They're all different too. They're all different species too, from club to club. So so you are on the National Academy of Recording Arts and Science, which also produces the Grammys. Can you explain how that's been? It's been on there for about 20 years, I guess, right?
I'm a 25-year voting member just got the certificate in January, but it was actually, I think, last year. So maybe I'm 26 years in. And the way that the Recording Academy it works is that you qualify for membership. It was probably easier back in my day, but this time they did have me re-qualify. I mean, and so I've been going along steadily for all of those years, decades. And then they asked me to re-qualify, which I thought was interesting. And so then we were able to show all of the work that we're doing, recording wise, and with the festival, and all the things that we're doing. And so we were able to show that, yes, we are current, as opposed to moribund. One other thing is that they offered me the opportunity in a couple of years to become a lifetime member, but that is now up to the trustees. They're working on that program, and so I'm not sure about what will happen there. But but what I can say is that we, on the festival side of our operations, we are ecstatic to work with Harvey Mason, and it turns out his son is now the chair of the Recording Academy and is the acting president. They had a changeover in leadership at the beginning of this year before the Grammy Awards. But the Grammys, it is the highest award in music. I mean, other than perhaps, say the Kennedy Honor or something for lifetime achievement, but it's, or presidential medals or that kind of thing. But it's essentially the highest order of, and the process has evolved over the years, and how how these people are selected. The winners are selected, and the Academy membership votes on them. And the process has changed, and just like any other human endeavor, it has its own foibles. But sometimes better, sometimes worse. But in general, recognizes excellence in the recording and performing arts.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's got to be a huge honor for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as a musician, I like to ask.
You just happen to catch me drinking out of a recording.
There we go.
Glass. Hey, how about that? I had no idea you were going to ask me about that. That's for their 60th anniversary. I just happen to be using that today, folks.
Hey, that's a name drop if I've ever heard one, for sure. So what I love to ask artists is, how many instruments can you play?
Well, first of all, you should know that I'm illiterate. That is to say, I don't read music. And, to throw a number out there, I'd say half of us do, half of us don't, but I don't think anybody's ever really clocked that. But so I play piano, and I started that to accompany my voice. So my voice is my number one instrument. Piano's number two. And other than that, I try to leave the rest of the stuff alone, because I've got more than enough to do with those things in working on my craft. But the piano, as many people know, is part of the percussion family of instruments. You know how instruments are divided into families.
Right.
And so piano is percussion, because the key, when you press a key on the piano, then a hammer strikes the string. And so that's why it's in the percussion family, because that's the way in which the sound is made. But so there's another long-winded answer for you. I sing and I play piano.
Hey, that's okay. Okay, what is your favorite genre to play? I know you're in the Blues Society, but what's your favorite genre to get down on?
Well, we all have, well, I can speak as a father, because I have a couple of kids and I love them both, but they're different. And so I like other genres of music, and I'll play in different kinds, but but generally popular music is vocal music. And so I like vocal music in general. And so pop, rock. I mean, I started probably with folk music when I was growing up, listening to my parents' stuff. And so folk to pop to rock, those are the mains. But of course, those all have their antecedents in blues, and so that's as part of the Americana experience. Part of what led me also to get involved in the new blues and the blues and traditional blues as well.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's. What influences have shaped your music? Like, do you have any certain ones, or you probably got a bunch? But what are some of them, like, main ones?
Well, I sure do. And so overall, the singer-songwriters influenced me, beginning with that folk experience. So when Bob Dylan started as a folkie and then went electric, that was an important transition. I used to, in the 70s, have my own triumvirate of British rock because I was influenced by the British invasion. So at the top of my particular pinnacle, and this obviously is just a matter of taste, but what were the Beatles? I thought that they were the cat's meow. They were the toppermost of the poppermost in regards to songwriting. And then on the second level, I had the Rolling Stones and the Who. And so that's kind of something of a background for me. But then on the piano, which is a whole nother story, I've gone back to seminal people like Little Richard, rest in peace, and Jerry Lee Lewis as antecedents. But I grew up with folks like Elton John and Billy Joel, and then the list in pop music progresses through there up to perhaps the largest supergroup to involve a piano has been Coldplay, although there've been a lot of stuff in between, obviously. But one of my favorite, and I like to talk about the Fifth Stone, Ian, and then I like to talk about Chuck Leavell, who is currently the musical director of the Rolling Stones and has been for 10 or maybe 15 years or so. I might be shortening them; it might be 20. And then also from the old catalog, here's a name, but he's really one of my all-time favorites, and one of the very first ones that I homed in on, a gentleman by the name of Nicky Hopkins, who's played with most of the Beatles over time, and let's not forget Billy Preston, but played with most of the Beatles, but then played with a number of American bands and was in a band called Quicksilver Messenger Service, but he played with the Airplane and with the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and tons of folks. So he's a great pianist that I'd like to aspire to one day, as I'm beginning to to think I can get a little bit good on this thing.
I think you're more than good. I think you're more than good. Well, how about this? Why don't you show everybody your chops? You can play a song, whatever, your choice.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, I've got a couple of things going at the moment, and normally I don't write in this genre, but it's a current one that I've just come out with, and we're actually working on recordings of it now. So I think I'll do it for you today. It's a song called Purple Heart. I'm going to put on some reverb to help the vocal.
Okay. And also I'm going to take myself off the stream. You haven't lost me, just so the focus can be on
Understood.
You. Okay.
Thank you. So this one is called Purple Heart. My son didn't want to go. He was called to serve. His mother loved him so. She didn't get what she deserved. Sometimes all it takes is one last charge, and the battle turned. Oh, the men who died that day, it's a Purple Heart he earned. He landed at Fort Riley. His messages were full of hope. He shipped out early Sunday morning. His mother couldn't cope. Sometimes all it takes is one last charge, and your battle will turn. Of all the men who died today, it's a Purple Heart they earn. He led him up the hill that morning at dawn, bullets flashing in the sun. When they broke through the final line, the enemy began to run. Sometimes all it takes is one last charge, and the battle turns. Of all the men who died today, it's a Purple Heart they earn. It's a Purple Heart. Your battle will turn. It's a Purple Heart. Your battle will turn.
Absolutely, man. I heard that song for the first time a couple days ago, man. That's an awesome song.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so heartfelt. Yeah, definitely real.
So there's a couple of versions. We're doing a pop and rock and roll version, electric guitar. You know that you might appreciate would go along with something like that. But then, uncharacteristically for me, because I don't work in this field, we're doing a country version, and we're doing it with slide pedal steel, mandolin, violin. It's coming together really great under the auspices of that guy that you met earlier, Steve Proctor, a very unbelievable producer and engineer. That guy used to tour, by the way. He's a real musician. He used to tour with Fat Boy Slim and Moby, and they used to do, you know, 5,000 or 10,000 seaters on 3 continents. So yeah, he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, those are some big time names you just mentioned.
Yeah, man. And so we feel very lucky to be able to work on this tune, God-given, you know, inspirational tune that just, you know, happened. And it's not something I work in a lot, but the tune came, and so there it is.
Awesome. All right, let's get to the Long Beach Blues Society. You just recently started Give a Gig. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, please. So the Give a Gig program began this year as in response to the global pandemic. The COVID-19 has wreaked havoc among the events industry, obviously among musicians and the allied professionals who help with their events, with musical and otherwise, other performance and other types of performing arts. But clearly for us as musicians, we realized that our brethren, our sisters, were suffering out there because many of them depend on either that income completely or supplementally, for example, for those who are retired or nearing the slowdown in their other work lives, because, you know, let's face it, it's tough to make a living doing this. And so we realized that they were suffering, and we wanted to figure out a way in which we could try to help them. And it started off, you know, I'm giving groceries to a buddy of mine, and then I realized, hey, let's formalize this in some way. And we wanted to distinguish it from other programs that were out there, and try to emphasize what we were really trying to do, and that is to give back to musicians So we called it Give a Gig, because that's what they were missing. They were missing gigs. So, you know, and all that entails. But so that's how we created the program. And first we set out, well, let's set a goal of $2,500 over 3 months, something like that, or 2 or 3 months. And we met that goal pretty quickly, within a matter of weeks. And so we decided, well, let's continue. And we spiffed that up. We doubled the goal to 5,000. And then we made that with our Facebook portion of it as well. But people continued to give through PayPal and writing checks and sending them in all kinds of ways. And so now we're nearing a new goal of 10,000. I think is Steve in the background there? Yeah. How much do you think we're close to? Are we 9,000 yet? Or we just gone over $9,000, and that we've been raising and been giving this away as quickly as we can to musicians, and then of course their families. So we've probably helped 100 folks so far with the Give a Gig program, but it's something that the Long Beach Blues Society took on our leadership, our friends and familiars, and by the way, we started helping musicians that have helped the schools and veterans in the hospitals and seniors at the senior centers and that have gone into the children's hospital. For example, in Long Beach, we have a fantastic hospital, Long Beach Memorial Medical Center, but it's part of a larger group, memorial care hospitals that go into Orange County, and they have within it something called Miller Children's Hospital. And the Miller Children's Hospital is throughout all those hospitals as well, but the brick and mortar places in Long Beach. And there they have something called the Quality of Life program for the long-term care kids. So we started helping them, and that's a program that was spearheaded by Steve Proctor, who you're now getting to know him and love him as much as we do. But he goes bedside, and he's been using masks and masking up since before COVID, because they have to do all of that kind of stuff. But to help those kids, and the interesting thing, and I'll leave it for this particular program, is that it's been able to reach kids that weren't being reached by the ordinary music therapy programs, because we've been approaching them with iPads and some electronic stuff, and they've been able to do beats and do other things that have engaged them in ways in which traditional music therapy has been unable to do. And so that's a really great bonus of that program. So I wanted to, big Steve up and thank him for that. And we're, focusing. So these are the kinds of programs that we've been doing. And the people that have been helping us with that, those are the people that we thought to try to help first. Those are people that we went to first and said, how are you doing? And we've had good response from them. Some need it, some don't. We've had others refer us to other people that are helping. And we've been also reaching out on a daily basis through our Daily Dose program through the Bill Grisolia band, also to put the word out so that people that are suffering can either get in touch with us or refer other people to us.
Yeah, very commendable, man. I love it. And I work with like mostly independent acts, so I do understand, and I email them every day, or not every day, but a lot, and check up on them. How you doing, man? Like a lot of them are kind of getting more creative. They get to stay home and make music, so there's a silver lining a little bit. But yeah, that's very commendable, helping them out a little bit, because like I said, most independent artists rely on touring for a lot of their income.
Sure.
So yeah, I love it, man. So you also have other programs. You have Blues in Schools, Blues for Vets, and Blues for Seniors.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain some of that for me?
Yeah, yes, please. So we started the Long Beach Blues Society. Started its first program was actually an arts management internship program. We started working with kids, with students, and they would come and help us with other activities of the Blues Society, as well as the new Blues Festival, which I'm sure we'll get to in a moment. But then after that, the first program that we implemented was Blues in the Schools. And we're not the creators of that concept. We just glommed onto it. It's been used all over the United States, also very effectively and here's a shout out to the Los Angeles Blues Society. They've done a lot of work in the schools, and so we thought we would try to help in that regard. So we started working with the Long Beach unified school district. We've done some outside of that, like with the Valencia School of the Performing Arts in Pico Rivera, and others. But basically what we try to do is one of two things: either work with a classroom with an individual teacher and a classroom. Often that's jazz or blues or music or something like that. Or we also do large all school events. So we'll go into any one of the levels of schools, in elementary or middle or high school, and we will provide all school assemblies. And to this, we'll invite musicians, blues musicians of all stripes who come in and play. And we've had an incredible response from the community to come in and work and maybe take an honorarium or not. But we've also had really important artists come through as well. We've had the Grammy-nominated Janova Magnus, for example, come over to Poly High School, when Poly has a fantastic program. Long Beach Polytechnic High School in Long Beach has a fantastic program. It's a Grammy school as well for what it does in the arts. But we were able to work with Chris over there, the instructor, and not only did we work in his class, but we did 2 all-school assemblies, reaching about 900 kids. And so that's an example of the kind of thing that we do and during school year. But we'll also, work with other programs like the Long Beach RAP, which is WRAP, which is a program both of the school district in conjunction with the Parks and Recreation, so that we do something after school as well to give some additional stuff for kids to do and learn after school as well. I should also mention that with the high school programs, that often the kids will participate with the musicians both in class and on stage. And so it's great to see the kids getting up on the stage. And Poly, as an example, had a $25 million renovation of its auditorium. So it's in good shape. And so there are these kids playing with professional musicians on stage in front of their peers. And it's a great thing. It's a source of great joy. It's a priceless experience for the musicians that come in and help us. And on that one, we had a couple of members of the school board come in, Diana Craighead and Megan Kerr, and we think that the Board of Education will be supportive of these additional efforts in the future. So that's the Blues for the Schools, Blues in the Schools program.
Yeah, I know, man. I can't imagine being on stage like that with some professionals. Yeah, that's got to be awesome for them. So you guys do have performances all over Southern California, right? You said Orange County, even up towards LA, even Inland Empire. So that's awesome that you guys are able to branch out like that. Do you guys ever stream online performances, or ever since the COVID happened?
Yes, we've done. We filmed 11 and we published 9 Bluff Park sessions. Done right here. Actually, this piano is an upgrade. We upgraded during COVID. We used to have an upright here. Thanks to our good friends at Hollywood Piano, we were able to upgrade during COVID and use this. But we did. We recorded 11, put up 9. They're called Bluff Park Sessions. You can get them on the Bill Grisolia Band and or the New Blues Revolution Facebook sites. And then when COVID began to get even more intense here in Southern California, then we launched a solo piano vocal show called The Daily Dose, in which I perform a song much like I did for today. And we've done about 60 of those, a little over 60 of those during the COVID crisis. So we've done that, and then we've done a smattering of one-offs. Steve helped put together a fantastic show based on our New Blues Festival artists. He got contributions from them, put together a 1-hour show for the organization on Facebook called Can't Stop the Blues. And that was a tremendous success. It really opened up things. We had a really wide readership, listenership. The metrics of that thing were fantastic. I think it was it 5,000 people? Yeah. 5,000 people 1,000 comments, $200 in donations.
I think he was more than that. I think there was like 10,000 comments.
Crazy. Yes, or something. Yeah, 10,000 comments. Unbelievable engagement on several different levels of metrics that, we'll be happy to, we've posted them and we'll be happy to review them. But yeah, it had a very big impact. And so we're scheduled, the Bill Grisolia Band is scheduled to do a couple of things with that Can't Stop the Blues program as well. And then we've done another charity one here in Long Beach. Let's see, what was the name of that one? Live, Love, Lives? The assemblyman's certificate is over there in that manila envelope. We can pull that out as a show and tell point. The one it's over by the mirror. Yeah, the other one, the larger one, and then we'll get the appropriate. I can remember that this assembly certificate was given to us by Mike Gibson. He's actually chair of the Democratic Caucus. So this comes from the California legislature for all your peeps across the universe. It comes from the California legislature, and it's just a commendation for our work during COVID. And it's from Love Beyond Limits, that their 2020 Love-a-thon fundraiser for their charity. And this was given to us by, the certificate of appreciation was given to us by Mike Gibson, who is the assembly member for the 64th district and also the chair of the Democratic Caucus. We also got, for the previous program, we were talking about the Give a Gig program of the Long Beach Blues Society. We also got a fantastic letter of recognition from the mayor of Long Beach, just recognizing, us for helping in, a unique and positive and significant way with, folks and their families. We think to participate this fall with a program of the USDA, and we're going to actually be a food depot. They'll be delivering us boxes of food, which we'll also give out to musicians in need here in Long Beach. So that's a future program.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love how Long Beach, they stick together. Like I said, it's a big city, but it seems like a tight-knit community. That's the thing about Long Beach. That's what I love about it. That's why I've lived here since 2004. So okay. So within the society, you have some artists that that are on your website. I'm kind of checking them out. One thing that I love is the diversity that you guys have. You got Grammy-nominated artist Geneva Magnus, like you were talking about before. She kind of does actually a little bit of everything as far as music-wise. And then you got, your authentic blues, your Bernie Pearl and your Southside Slim. I mean, they're considered a little bit more authentic. And then you got like younger people like Shy But Fly, the spoken word, R&B, it kind of mixes some jazz and blues influence. And then the 18-year-old Ray Gorin, the multi-instrumentalist, he raps too, but then also incorporates some jazz and some blues. That's what I love about your roster, is that you're kind of all over the map. And I think that's probably what attracts a lot of people to you guys.
Well, we like to think in general in this way, in that the purpose of the society and many of our efforts is that we like to honor the past and promote the future. And so there's, and sometimes we get resistance in some areas of the blues community and nationally, because they want to focus on more traditional blues forms, pre-World War II blues forms. But we recognize that that music has a life of its own. And so as it evolves, I mean, we got rock and roll, we got other stuff from the blues, and the form continues to change and to evolve. And so we think to recognize that and celebrate it and help promote it, but not, of course, losing sight of the past and its antecedents, and honoring and preserving and helping to preserve those forms as well. But all of this in a context of helping underserved communities too. All of this is, the kids, the youth that we help, the seniors, the veterans that we help, the people that we're reaching out to with these kinds of musics, in addition to our bigger event like the New Blues Festival, we're using both of the traditional and the new to help those people.
Yeah, exactly. And so what are you planning for the future? I know right now everything's kind of at a standstill because of the COVID-19, but as far as what are some future plans that you guys may have?
Well, you mentioned Southside Slim. Tomorrow night, Southside Slim is hosting a blues show, live streaming from the African American nightclub of 30 years here, Roscoe's, which is now called Roscoe's Jazz Lounge. When I first moved to this town, it was called the Cotton Club. And so I've been playing the Cotton Club for 30 years in a variety of formats. But so Slim tomorrow night is hosting a show. He'll do he'll try to emulate Jesse and do a little interviewing, and then the Bill Grisolia band will perform. We'll probably do a number with him, an Albert King song. We'll do then some of our material, and that'll all take place at 8 p.m. Pacific time, and we can, folks can get that information from down below, the stuff down below where you're.
Yeah, where's that going to be streaming on Facebook?
Yeah, it'll be live streamed to Facebook, and also live streamed to Facebook. Pardon me, just there.
Cool. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. I'm excited for that.
So that's,
all right. So
that's tomorrow, and then we got some other stuff going on.
Hey, make sure you guys follow all that stuff. In particular, Long Beach Blues Society and New Blues Revolution. They're going to give you all the information that you need if you guys want to tune in for that. All right, so let's get to the New Blues Festival. It's currently postponed until 2021, unfortunately, but you were able to keep some of the same acts that you had booked for this year.
Unbelievably, what a blessing! Everybody who is contracted for this year has agreed to return and play the festival next year. So it's unbelievable. What a great cast! What a great booking lineup we have. The two current top. We may add some additional talent, by the way, because we've got a year to do it. But we'll see how this COVID pandemic goes. But at the top of the bill, the two top players have between them 10 Grammy Awards. That's 10 Grammy Awards. Am I still? Did I take the reverb off? Oh shit! Pardon. There it is. There's the reverb's off. Is this actually what the sound's coming through?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. In any event, so Robert Cray and Keb Mo have between them 10 Grammys, and so that's the kind of quality level that the festival will attain this year. So we're really happy about that. And then the bill gets filled out with other headliners who headline festivals across the nation and do a significant amount of work in Europe. People like Tommy Castro and Sugar Ray Rayford. And then, I mentioned earlier, and here I'll mention him again. Harvey Mason he's not a blues artist per se, although he does plenty of blues. He's a jazz artist, more of a jazz artist, but, we present that as well. And Harvey was importantly involved with a group called the Headhunters with Herbie Hancock, and then later formed a group called Foursquare, which is about Foreplay rather, which is about 30 years in, and they've had unbelievable musicians come through that. Fantastic guitarists, Nathan East, all kinds of great players that have worked in that band over the years. So we're very excited to be able to bring him to Long Beach, and I wanted to, give a particular. I wanted to particularly point out that differentiation from the rest of the traditional and cutting edge stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess I wouldn't be an agent unless I name drop one of my clients. I have a client out of Memphis, Tennessee. It kind of does the jazz, blues, R&B mixture. Maybe we'll have to talk about him later, maybe being in the festival. He'd love to come and perform here in Long Beach.
Understood, but you got to tell me his name.
Nick Black. Sorry.
Oh, Nick Black. Nick Black. Oh, I don't we think there's some space for him? Because I know that that other Breakpoint client you're going to be sending over there too. That New Blues Revolution. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that later. Okay, so what are some of your favorite songs? How about this? How about you perform one of your favorite blues songs for us right now?
Well, I'd be happy to. It's one of mine. It's called Lately, and then in parenthesis, I Didn't Miss You. Here comes the reverb. Lately you walk through, you pause without fixing your eye. I don't know what's come over you lately, but something's on your mind lately. I didn't miss you. Your troubles go lately, they stay far too long. You seem so different towards me. Did I help them along? Lately I didn't miss you. No, not lately. Act your age lately, why don't you pass up the dawn? Why don't you pretend that you found me, baby? Some trouble too strong. 'Cause lately I didn't miss you. Lately you walk through, you pause without fixing your eye. I don't know what's come over you lately, but something is on your mind. 'Cause lately I didn't miss you. No, no, not lately. No, 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 no.
Bravo. Bravo. All right, Bill, before we let you go, why don't you go shout out some of the people that are involved with Long Beach Blues Society?
Thank you very much. Well, today's broadcast couldn't have happened without the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, the man about town, Mr. Steve Proctor. I also want to shout out to one of the co-founder for which all of this wouldn't have happened, which is a guy by the name of Robert Barr, Bob Barr, B. Noel Barr, Bobby the Wheel, aka who helped us from the very beginning, not only with the Blues Society, but with the New Blues Festival. We have, of course, helping us out as a fundraising consultant, Celissa Uriarte Smith. We're very pleased to have her. A new outreach consultant working with her, a new Love in My Life, Rose Carrion. We have also folks that have helped us immense, that are on, also headed for the board, and that includes Rich West, Willie Aguilar. And I think Celissa is bringing on another young lady in the accounting and finance area of things to the board. Also, we believe Mr. Burt Roberts, the CFO, the interim CFO for the Los Angeles mission, will also be joining us. Anybody else I'm missing, Steve, I should shout out to? I covered it okay, at least for the time being. So those are the principal folks, the key players. Steve's the brains behind the operation. I'm obviously just the looks, but
Obviously, yeah.
Thank you so very much. What else can I tell you before we get out of here about the festival, the Blues Society, any of the bands, the material? What last questions?
Oh, I got one. If people want to donate, where can they go? Do they go to the longbeachbluessociety.org?
Yep, absolutely. They go to the longbeachbluessociety.org, and then on that main landing page, the home page, they'll see up in the menu bar where to go to donate.
Cool, awesome. Well,
Give a gig is there as well.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. Music was amazing. Love to hear original music like that, especially with so much soul. And but yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We'll keep in touch about the festival, and we will talk soon.
Yes, please. Thanks again, and congratulations to you, and also to your listenership, your viewership, for helping to support live music, emerging music across the United States and beyond.
Appreciate it. Much love. Well, there you have it, Mr. Bill Grisolia, a legend in Long Beach. Well, thank you again for tuning in. Episode 4 of Breakpoint Now. We love you. Please tune in next week. I'll be interviewing 60 East, amazing rapper out of Pomona, California. If you want to follow Breakpoint Booking, you got here, breakpointbooking.com, IG and Twitter at BreakpointBKNG, Facebook at Breakpoint Booking. If you want to follow me, my IG is jesse.breakpoint.booking. I love some followers, some likes on the photos. You know how it is. Got a shameless plug there. But thank you so much. We will see you again later. And have fun. Be breezy.